posture, grip, and alignment. Okay? Spencer.
You get it?
Posture, say posture.
Posture.
Grip.
Grip.
And alignment. Good man. Alright, so with posture, I'll stand here. Posture is what we mean by how we set up to the golf ball. We're going to throw a ball down for both of you, but we're not going to hit a golf ball, okay? So we'll put one there for you, and that's just for reference. A ball for you, and I'll take one for me. Now, what we mean by posture, we're going to start at our feet, okay? When we get set up to the ball, like we're going to hit it, why don't you guys get set up like you're going to hit it, okay? And we'll have you face, just like your mom, you're going to face out this way, Spence, okay? Now, what we mean by posture, a couple things. First thing is how far our feet are in relation to setting up to the ball. So we're not going to set up to the ball like this. That's too what? Spencer would say. Too wide. Good. And we're not going to set up to the ball like that. It's too what? Narrow, right. What we want to do is set our feet up equal with our shoulders. We talked about this in putting, I think. If you draw that line from your shoulder down to the middle of your foot, that's about how wide your feet should be. Okay? Women, it's going to be a little bit narrower than a man because their shoulders aren't quite as big. So you, mister, are a little too wide. We need to have you, there we go, good. And kids aren't going to be as big as an adult, okay? So you're good, you're good. That's the first thing with posture is how wide are our feet, okay? Next thing is when we set up to the ball, we want to feel like the weight in our feet is right here in the middle of our feet. We don't want the weight to be up on our toes like this, or we don't want to feel like we're falling back on our heels, okay? So you want to feel like the weight is right in the center of your feet, right like that, okay? So if I was to come over to you, Spencer, and go like this, you should be able to stay still. Put your weight up on your toes like this. If I go like this, you're going to probably start to fall over. Put your weight back on your heels. If I go like that, you're probably going to fall over. So you want to feel the weight right in your middle, so if someone was to come up and go like that, you're not going anywhere, okay? So far with posture, our feet are how far apart? Shoulder width, good. And we want the weight where in our feet? Middle, good. Next thing with posture, we're starting from the ground and working up. So the next thing we want to do is look at our knees, okay? We want to make sure that our knees are bent, but Spence, tell me if this looks good. No? We don't want to bend our knees too much, and we definitely don't want to have our legs nice and straight. We just want to start with them straight, and we're just going to do a little bit of a bend, okay? Just like any other sport, baseball, basketball, football, they get down in what we call an athletic position. That's exactly what you want to do in golf. Have a good flex in your knees, okay? And you want to keep that flex in your knees the whole time you're swinging, okay? So watch me here. If I'm going to swing at this ball, I got a little flex in my knees. When I swing back, I don't want my knees to straighten up. Okay? So you want to keep those knees bent the whole time you're swinging, okay? So with posture, so far, Spence, what have we done? Feet are what? Shoulder width, good. Weight in the, good. What about our knees? Perfect. Oh, you are so good. Now doing it's going to be a little bit harder, but you got it. You guys have got it. Now we're going to work up a little bit farther. When we get set up to the ball, I'll face you guys this time. We got our feet shoulder width. The weight's right in the middle. Our knees are bent. Now, we don't want to get like this when we set up to the ball. We don't want to get too bent over and have our shoulders coming in like this. We want to stand nice and tall, okay? Back back straight, okay? Your shoulders back, not like this, shoulders back. And we want to bend from our hips. We don't want to bend from up here to get to the ball. So if I get set up and I'm bent over like this, that's no good. You want to look like this. You want to bend from the hips down to get to the ball, not from up here, okay? So, you're good.
How far from the ball should we be standing?
Typically, what I use for how close you should be, your club should be sitting flat on the ground like this. And if you take two fists and put them up against your right thigh, go like that, that's about where your arms should be. Okay? So wherever that club is right there, that's where you should put your hands on the club. Okay? So now you go ahead and grip the club. Okay? And we'll fix your grip in a minute. So that's pretty good. Now Spence, your clubs are a little long, so what I'm going to have you do, okay, I'm going to have you back up a little bit, go back that way, good. And your hands are going to be down here a little bit, okay, good. So we're bending from where? From the waist, from the hips. We're not bending from up like this, okay? So we want to pretend if we draw a line for your spine, that's at about a 45-degree angle. That's pretty good right there. Okay? You want to bend a little bit more from the hips. There you go. And I'm going to have you back up just a little bit too. There we go. Okay, so for the posture, first thing is what? Shoulder.
The weight stand.
Yep.
The weight
Weight's in the middle. Good.
Oh, knees. Do not lock the knees.
Good. Bending
Keep
from.
it from your hips.
Good. Club should be.
Two feet away from your.
Yep.
Right.
And guess what? You're not going to have to remember all this. I'm going to write this all down and I'm going to email it to you so you have it, okay?
Okay.
So those are our checkpoints for posture, okay? So I said before we started, PGA. Posture was number one. Grip. Grip's going to be the hard one, okay? This is going to be hard, but this is probably one of the more important ones because the only connection between you and this thing is your hands. So holding the club right is very, very important. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put our left hand on the club right now. We're going to put our right arm over here, just put our left hand on the club. We want the club not to lay up here in our palm. We want it to lay right in the top of the fingers right here. Why don't you guys do that? Okay, just your left hand. Good. So right there in your fingers, and now you're going to close it like this. Okay, you stay right there. So right there in your fingers, and we're going to kind of hold it a little bit like that. And now just close it. Okay, good. So, club is not up in our palm, it's in our fingers. We close it, okay, and our thumb's going to go down the right side of the club shaft, okay? You see right here, there's a little bit of a V made right here. When we get set up, that V should point over our right shoulder, okay? Over this shoulder, okay? So if I was to draw a line like this, that's perfect. That's right where it should be. Okay, you're a little bit too strong, so we want to put you right about here. And this V, if you point a line, it should go right over your right shoulder. Okay? That's the left hand, okay? One thing I do with the little kids that I teach, we call this thumb on your left hand the hot dog, and this hand is the bun. So there's the hot dog, the bun goes right over top of the hot dog. Okay? So your thumb's the hot dog, this hand's going to go right over top of it like that. Good. Okay, so there's the hot dog, there's the bun. Now, see that V you make right there? That should also go over your right shoulder. So we're going to go that, good. this V right here, that one should also point over your right shoulder. Okay? Good. So it's going to look like this. Your fingers, wrap it around. V goes over your shoulder. Hot dog, fun. And then this V right here is also going to point over your shoulder. Okay? Now, here's the next thing. Why don't you guys go ahead and grip the club and then hold it up in the air like this. What we want to do is make sure that our hands are connected with each other somehow. There's different ways of doing it. This is how I do it. This pinky on this hand wraps around with this pointer finger on this hand like this. Okay? That's one way to do it. That's not comfortable for a lot of new golfers, but that's the way a lot of golfers do it. The other way, instead of doing this, is to go like this. Okay? Just lay this finger, instead of intertwining them, just have this one lay right over top. Like that. Good. This is called the interlocking. This is called the overlap. And then what's easier for a lot of beginners is the 10 finger for baseball grip. Okay? It doesn't matter to me which one you guys do. Just know you need your hands to work together and never, ever, ever get separate from each other. That's the whole swing. So if we swing back here, some people's hands get separated when they get back here, and that's not good. We want the hands to stay together the whole time we're swinging, okay? So you're probably going to do baseball grip, right? Okay? Make sure those hands are touching, okay?
I think I will do the overlap.
Do overlap?
Yeah,
Okay.
overlap is easy on me.
Now, grip's hard. Grip's really hard. We got one more thing with grip that's very important. I want both you guys to hold the club out just like this, and I'm going to do a test. Okay? Wow. You're gripping it really hard.
It's about the perfect line.
Yep, you are too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we want to have very even grip pressure. What I mean by grip pressure is how tight we're holding it. If we have a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is you're going like this, and you're gripping it as hard as you can, that's a 10, and 1 is you're barely holding it. We want you to be like a 5 or 6. Nice and easy. So, pretend you're holding a bird in your hands, little bird, okay? You don't want to squeeze the bird and kill it, okay? But you don't want to hold it too lightly that it flies away. So you just want to hold it nice and light in there so it won't fly away. Much better, much better. Way better, way better. See what happens when you grip it really hard? You create tension that goes up your arms, up your shoulders, and watch me, here I am loose, but I grip it hard, and you can see my arms doing this.
Yeah.
That goes up your shoulders, and then your shoulders start to come in like this because of that tension. So we don't want to grip that club really, really hard. Nice and smooth, or nice and easy, okay? So, posture. Let's see what you remember with posture. We'll start with you, first thing. Okay, that's good, that's good. I'll give your mom the next one.
Do not lock your knees, bend your knees.
Right?
Not too much.
Yep, that's good.
Bend on the hips.
Bend from the hips, good. What else with posture? What about where the weight is in your feet? Middle, good. You don't want to be too much out on our toes or back on our heels, okay? What is another thing with posture? Is this good?
On.
Is that good posture, or do we want to stand up nice and tall with our shoulders back?
Stand up with nice and tall with shoulder back.
Perfect. Okay, so that's posture. Now, grip. Too tightly, good.
The hands are supposed to be together all the time.
Perfect.
Hit a V and the V.
The V's, yes.
Yeah, the V